Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4.
It's Friday.
Are you sure? I
Yes,
don't know
it is.
what day it is this week.
I know, because of the holidays.
It's the last weekend of the decade.
Yes, it is. Can you believe it?
It's hard to believe.
Oh, and it's still nice and mild, but it's going to be a rainy weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be very wet. We'll get to the weather in a minute. But first, here's what's making news on this Friday. The man accused of killing his sister on Christmas Eve makes his first appearance in Dane County court.
Amy Reed goes deeper into a story that we brought you yesterday about a boy who died after years of abuse.
And preparations are underway in Times Square as New York City gets ready for the biggest New Year's Eve party in the world.
Let's take a look outside today. The sunshine was nice. It's mild again.
It helps a lot.
We're getting spoiled rotten right now.
I know, it's the end of December, and we have rain on the way. A very rainy weekend. Let's head out to the backyard. Dana has a look at... I like your hat. That's a Christmas present, right?
I like it. Was a Christmas present. I like my hat too. Yeah. The husband did pretty good. Actually, it's made right here in Wisconsin. Picked it up in Cross Plains. So it's starting to get a little hat weather for me. Not exactly a skiing weather just yet. That's what the hat's for. Right now, here's a live look with our Edgewater sky cam. We do have a few clouds in the sky. Sunset's right around the corner. But here in the backyard patio, I am getting a little bit of daylight, so it does make it feel pretty comfortable outside right now, and certainly quite a bit more mild than where we should be for this time in December. Again, average temperatures in the upper 20s, and we're at 35 currently in Madison. It feels about 31 with a calm breeze, so not too bad of a Friday evening. Over the weekend, rain on the way, and temperatures are quite mild for Saturday and Sunday before we drop back closer to average heading into the end of the year. It'll feel a little more wintry, but still above average. We'll take a closer look at those rain chances and how much we are expecting for those accumulation totals in just a few minutes. Right now on the roads, always a good thing when I don't have accidents to report. Here's a look at the Beltline on Park Street, east and westbound, going along pretty smooth right now. Again, no accidents, always a good thing. No major delays either at this time. Things seem to be going okay along the Isthmus downtown. And then if you are heading around on 12 up towards Baraboo and the Dells, should be a smooth drive this evening along the interstate down to the state line, all smooth as well. To get from Janesville to the Beltline at 25 minutes, 16 from Sauk City to Middleton, and 14 minutes from Sun Prairie to downtown this evening.
Really not a lot of people working today.
No, and you can always tell when the Beltline if schools are out and if folks aren't working. I think people kind of extended the Christmas vacation towards this week.
They were all at the malls. I was trying to drive home for lunch.
Traffic was crazy today.
Why would you? Not even going to try to go until next week. Not even worth it.
We'll see you in a few minutes, Dana. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dana. First at 4, the Dane County Jail is holding a Madison man on a $1 million cash bail for first-degree intentional homicide with use of a dangerous weapon.
Gabriella Becerra joins us now with what we know about the murder that happened on Christmas Eve. Gabby?
Just after 4 o'clock on Tuesday, dispatch received a phone call that said, "My sister needs an ambulance immediately," and then disconnected. That phone call was later traced to a phone that belongs to Joseph Green, the suspect accused of killing his sister, according to a criminal complaint. Green appeared in Dane County Court today. When police arrived at the scene, the suspect was not in the house. They had tracked him to his Madison apartment using officers and a canine. Officers found a pair of yellow leather gloves and a handgun in the dumpster outside the building, and inside the gun were bullets that matched the shell casings at the scene of the crime.
Also would note that in addition to finding probable cause, and I think this is relevant to the issue of bail, while this complaint is circumstantial in nature, it appears to be a fairly strong circumstantial case. I think that creates some flight incentive when added to the fact that it's a case that has the potential for life imprisonment.
The judge ordered the suspect not to be released on bail until his passport is surrendered, outfitted with a GPS, and ordered for him not to be armed with any dangerous weapons. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for January 2nd, and if he's convicted, Green could be sentenced up to life in prison.
All right, Gabriella, thank you.
Thank you, Gabriella. We're continuing to learn more today about the criminal history of a father accused of abusing his son up until his son's death. We first told you about this story yesterday. 10-year-old Dakota Collins was found dead earlier this month in Ohio. His autopsy revealed extreme abuse. Court records show his father, Al McLean, who had primary custody, had multiple violent incidents marked in his criminal record. One just a couple of months after Dakota's grandmother said she tried to seek partial custody. Witnesses saw him McClain drag his ex-girlfriend out of a car by her hair after hitting her with a pipe. Soon after, McClain took Dakota to Ohio. We talked with Dakota's uncle about this story yesterday. He said police in Ohio knew about some of the incidents there, and he said they need to follow up when they hear about abuse.
Still to this day, there's kids. They might not be dying, but I guarantee there's kids out there getting beat. How many of them actually sit there and keep following through with this?
Tonight at 5, our Amy Reed takes a closer look at McClain's background and tries to find out why this man was allowed to take his son out of state.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice is looking into past East High School business club trips after students discovered hidden cameras in their hotel room earlier this month. After East DECA students found the cameras in their room during a trip to Minneapolis, the district placed an unidentified staff member on leave. A DOJ agent sent a letter to East's interim principal saying the department is collecting information on past DECA events, trips, and attendees.
New at 4, Madison police say they're investigating a report of shots fired on the Near East Side. Officers say last night they received a report of shots fired on the 4300 block of Nakusa Trail near Sycamore Park. Shell casings were found in the roadway, but the suspect ran away before officers could get there. No one was injured. Anyone with information is asked to call Madison area Crime Stoppers.
Authorities in Racine County are looking for a suspect they believe shot and killed a 40-year-old last night. The Racine County Sheriff says 40-year-old Troy Hoffman ran away from the scene in Wind Lake, Wisconsin. He could be driving a 2009 white Toyota Sienna with Wisconsin license plate AFV 9734. Officials say he crashed his car into a car parked in a driveway at a home in Wind Lake, fired multiple shots at the home, then forced his way into the home and continued shooting. Check out this dramatic video of a massive house fire in Concord, Massachusetts. The fire engulfed this multi-million-dollar mansion for much of the day. There were no fire hydrants near the building, so firefighters had to truck in thousands of gallons of water. Luckily, no one was injured.
In Washington, Congress is on break right now, but one of the first orders of business for the Senate in the new year will be the impeachment trial of President Trump. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi still has not delivered the articles of impeachment to the Senate, saying that she needs to see what the rules of the trial will be first. President Trump accuses Speaker Pelosi of using stall tactics to obstruct the Senate and called it an impeachment hoax. Republican Senator John Kennedy claims 9 out of 10 senators don't want to hear the case anyway.
Probably ought to send her a fruit basket for not sending us something that we don't want to deal with.
At least 4 Republicans would have to join Democrats to allow witnesses as part of the rules of the trial. Even if that happens, it doesn't mean the Senate will vote to convict the president. It takes a 2/3 supermajority to do that. Speaking on CNN this morning, Democrat Congressman Mark Pocan says he doesn't understand why President Trump wouldn't want witnesses.
If you proclaim your innocence and you have all these people who can proclaim your innocence, but you're not going to let any of them actually go ahead and say that, it just doesn't pass the smell test.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he thinks 1 or 2 Democrats will join the Republicans in voting to acquit the president.
New York City is getting ready for its biggest party of the new year. New Year's Eve in Times Square. Preparations underway for an unforgettable evening. Johnny Fernandez, that is, has more from the so-called crossroads of the world.
Security will be tight for New Year's Eve in New York City's Times Square.
Times Square is probably going to be the safest place on the planet Earth on New Year's Eve.
An army of NYPD, federal and state officers will be on patrol, mostly in uniform, some in plain clothes, others with bomb-sniffing dogs.
And while we have all these resources on the ground, our aviation unit will be overhead, surveying rooftops and ensuring the crowds are safe.
City officials expect at least 1 million revelers in Times Square on New Year's Eve. Everyone going in will go through a security screening.
New York is just an excellent place for New Year's Eve.
Excitement is building for those waiting for the giant ball to drop.
I've only seen it drop on TV.
Shirley Green is visiting from Virginia. She's considering ringing in 2020 in Times Square.
I would expect pretty much what I'm seeing now. A lot of people, a lot of excitement, a lot of hype, and just a lot of fun memories.
Workers are putting the finishing touches on the 12-foot, 6-ton Waterford crystal ball that will descend over the crowd. This year, they're replacing 192 of the nearly 2,700 panels with specially themed Gift of Goodwill crystals.
The Gift of Goodwill is the international sign and symbol of hospitality, of good fortune.
And those planning to come here New Year's Eve are counting on the gift of good weather. Johnny Fernandez, CBS News, New York.
And so far, the weather forecast for New Year's Eve in the Big Apple calls for partly cloudy skies and highs in the upper 40s and only a 20% chance for rain.
The Badger football team is in Pasadena getting ready for play in the Rose Bowl. We have team coverage starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Eric Franke, Melissa Kim, and Kevin Lewis will be there. Channel 3000 will be your source for all of the highlights leading up to next Wednesday's game.
Well, still to come at 4, winter in Wisconsin can be hard on the birds that spend the season here.
They're having an easier time this year, but there are a lot of ways you can help them out and be entertained at the same time. There's Lisa Briggs. She's here with some bird feeding tips, some easy crafts too, when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Welcome back. DNA tests are exploding in popularity as people try to learn more about their ancestry.
Now researchers in the UK say your biology can also tell you the best foods to eat for your body. A small machine scans DNA for health conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. DNA is analyzed in about an hour and given to customers in a Fitbit-style wristband, which is synced to an app. Once you have the information, it's time to shop. Scientists have loaded the app with thousands of food products. With a simple scan of the barcode, the wristband will turn green if a food is right for you, and red means try something else. The app won't tell you to put down the cookie, but it will guide you to a healthier one. See, I need one that will tell me to put down the cookie.
I don't need somebody telling me what to eat, especially an app.
But it's for your
genetic makeup.
It might be just a gimmick. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, even with a busy holiday shopping season, many brick and mortar stores are struggling because of online shopping.
An estimated 12,000 expected to shutter by the end of the year, and that leaves many malls near closure. But some developers see the struggling centers as an opportunity. There are so many empty shopping centers that a website called deadmalls.com is devoted to documenting dying malls. The old Granite Hills Mall near Philadelphia was one of them, where some saw a money pit. Developer Michael Markman recognized an opportunity. He tore down the middle section, opened it up, and renamed the property the Promenade at Granite Run. New stores and a new look were added, along with restaurants and an apartment building with modern amenities like a coffee station and a game room.
You had to convince a lot of people of your vision.
Yeah, because this dramatic mall redo has not been done many places.
It is becoming more common. Ballston Quarters in Arlington, Virginia recently opened after an overhaul, and some dying malls are even being repurposed as medical centers. Another record-setting day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials added another 23 points for a record close of 28,645. The NASDAQ, however, fell 15, but the S&P 500 was up fractionally for a record close as well. Well, we all know that birds can survive without our help in the winter.
But as Lisa says, what's the fun in that? There are some fun and easy things you can do to help them out this winter. And Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
And before we get to your ideas, there's a bird count this Christmas.
Yes, we are in the middle of the Audubon Society's Christmas backyard bird count, and it's the 120th annual event. And it started on the 18th of December and runs to January 4th. And basically what you do is you look out your backyard window and you log on to their website and just record the birds that you see on a walk while you're walking your dog or in your backyard at the feeders. And then the Audubon compiles all of that information, and they use that information to study migration habits or what birds are being discovered where. So it's really interesting.
So
people all over the world do it.
But be honest.
Yes.
Those flamingos in my backyard.
Yeah, those are probably not real. So in the spirit of the backyard bird count, so we're gonna make some things. It's a good thing for the kids to do while they're home from school.
Yeah.
And so you have pine cones that came off, your giant 10-foot wreath.
Now, those are what? Sugar?
This is a sugar pine cone.
That's a real pine cone, though.
It is a real pine cone.
They're not from around here, though.
No, they're not. They're from out west.
Okay.
And so you can just put peanut butter in a tray, or microwaving it would be easier. You could just pour it on so it's a little less sticky. I got some peanut butter that didn't have a lot of additives, but I don't think you need to go out and get like organic.
Right.
And then just get a good seed mix and then just sprinkle it on the peanut butter. It'll stick.
And then you
if
hang it
have
up?
Yep, you have a string, and you can just hang it in your tree, and the birds will go after it. It's a really good source of fat, and which birds will need at this time of year when there aren't a lot of insects.
And expect squirrels to.
Expect squirrels as well. Another really easy one you can do is this. So this is just an orange. You slice it in half and squeeze it out. Get some fresh orange juice for breakfast. And then put a little square of suet in it. So this is a suet cake. You can get them at the garden center.
And they come in, there's a lot of different kinds.
A lot of different kinds for different birds. Some have fruit in them, some have other things in them. And I just cut it out, stuck it in there, and then ran a skewer through it to hold it together. And then you could just tie some string and then just hang it on the tree like an ornament.
What birds like the citrus?
Well, in the spring, of course, orioles are crazy for it, but it's a really good, easy way to hold it. And at this time of year, and birds are just hungry now anyway, but it's basically the fat that they need the most.
We have cardinals and chickadees and...
Yes, there are lots of birds that overwinter now. Robins didn't used to.
Right, now
but
they
the
do.
past 20
And
years
the
they
juncos come
haven't.
down from Canada and winter here.
Yes, there are birds that like colder temperatures, so they winter here, and then summer north, like a lot of owls. Like the past 10 years, we've had snowy owls come and hang out in the Middleton area every year, which is something that the backyard bird count could help Cornell and the Audubon Society figure out.
So do birds find their way to the feeder? Is there some other way to attract them?
Well, if you start in the spring and you keep them, they learn where there are feeders. So I think that once you're going to start to feed, especially if you're using feeders, you want to keep going.
Don't stop.
Don't stop, yeah, because they'll get used to it. And like you said, squirrels and other things are going to come and hang out.
They gotta eat too.
Yeah, they have to eat too.
Is this suet as well?
This is just a seed cake. And so you can find all kinds of things at the bird stores in the garden center. It's got a hole in it so you could just hang this. There are fancy ones that are shaped like stars or bells that we sell at Christmas time. So you can just get things ready-made and hang them out.
That's
or
more
put
for the
them
humans.
out.
The bells and the birds don't care.
The birds don't care. But it's kind of fun to make something, and it's certainly, you know, the kids I'm sure are bored with their Christmas presents by now.
Yeah.
They want something to do what they have another, you know, another week till school is back in session.
Fun project, helping the birds as well.
Absolutely.
I love this thing.
I know, isn't that incredible?
Here, you can have that.
Okay, thanks.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you guys too.
Well, there's more to come at 4. We'll get a check on your first alert forecast coming up.
And then tonight at 5, we'll share the details on a new hotel being developed in downtown Madison. That story is coming up at 5.
Some of the most popular gifts under the tree for kids this year included Lego sets and a Barbie dream house, but for one 4-year-old Florida girl, it's all about simple pleasures. Paisley was elated to unwrap several bottles of yellow mustard this holiday, and her reaction is garnering thousands of views on social media. And it seems like it could have been a prank. Paisley's mother says the child's obsession with mustard is all too real. She puts it on crab and salad and bread, anything you can imagine. Dinner tonight, pizza with mustard, of course.
Okay.
Easy to shop for.
4 bottles.
4 bottles of mustard. Look at her.
She seems happy.
She's thrilled.
It's what the kids
Who
are
needs an iPad? I just want some mustard.
Some mustard.
That's awesome.
A little condiment in your life.
Maybe she could try different flavors eventually, you know?
Just the yellow, nothing fancy.
Oh, just basic. Okay, we keep it simple.
So when does this rain start for us?
So we might see some freezing drizzle in spots for early Saturday morning, but most of that rain is going to come through for Saturday, and the heavier stuff is overnight into Sunday. So we'll take a closer look at timing of the beautiful sunset.
Look at the sunset. Wow.
In just a few minutes. Right now, we do have a really nice sunset, the clouds building in, and we're expected to be mostly cloudy heading into this weekend with our next rain chances really developing heading into tomorrow morning. Soggy weekend expected throughout Wisconsin, also to the south if you're traveling at all for the weekend. May see a little bit of snow towards the end of it, and then temperatures for next week become a little more wintry outside. Still above average, but at least we won't be seeing those high temperatures close to 50 degrees heading into next week. High pressure has kept us pretty quiet and calm today. We did see quite a bit of sunshine this afternoon. Turned out to be a decent day. Our next system, though, right now in the southwest, gaining a little bit of strength, bringing some snowfall towards the Rockies, and it is going to lift northeast, bringing these showers right on over the plains in the Midwest for Saturday and most of the day on Sunday. So outdoor plans tomorrow, probably not a good idea. May want to have an indoor backup. The concern, of course, we could see some really heavy rainfall at times. So our skies right now becoming mostly cloudy. Temperatures heading into Saturday morning, only dropping to about 30 degrees for overnight lows. For early on Saturday, we may have some isolated freezing drizzle spots as these clouds build on in, but notice it's not a big area of big chance for that because most of the area is going to see temperatures above freezing, but by the time the rain really does develop. So throughout the day on Saturday, we'll have periods of rain, so there'll be some breaks between the showers. This isn't like a smooth cold front that passes through with one line of storms and then we're clear. We're on the top half of the system, so we see these showers come through throughout the afternoon into Saturday. Saturday evening. That's when the heavier band is going to pass on through. Thankfully, it's coming through at night, so most of the folks are off the roads at that point in time. But Saturday night into Sunday morning, you may hear a few rumbles of thunder. You may have a few thunderstorms pass on overhead. Not expecting any severe weather, but again, some heavier rainfall possible at times. Sunday morning, we're still mostly cloudy with the opportunity for a little bit of rain during the day. Afternoon temperatures will be in the 50s for Sunday. Rainfall totals starting to creep up over an inch, especially for the western edge of the state. While flooding is not a big concern, some local ponding on roads heading into Sunday morning after that heavier rainfall comes through might be an issue for early Sunday, so you'll definitely just want to check things before you head on through. And if there is a puddle across the road, don't drive through it. You never know what's underneath the water. It'd be better just to take an alternative route. Rainfall totals east of Madison will be just a little lower, but still expecting quite a bit of rain to come through. The good news with these mild temperatures that we've had, the ground's thawed out, so the rain is actually going to have some place to go. It's not frozen solid right now. It can absorb a little bit of that. Overnight temperatures close to 30 tomorrow, mostly cloudy sky to start the day. High temps tomorrow in the upper 40s. Again, becoming breezy, milder. We'll have those periods of rain throughout the day. Close to the state line, we may be near 50 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, we have these mild temperatures, but heading into next week, we finally do get a little more wintry outside. Still a little bit above average, but the 30s, it's a little more like December as opposed to the upper 40s and 50s. So Sunday night heading into Monday morning, temperatures are going to drop quite a bit, so we may see some light snow develop at night. Monday and Tuesday were cloudy. For New Year's Eve on Tuesday, it does look quiet right now, just a cloudy sky. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s around midnight when the ball drops. And for Wednesday, we get a little bit of sun for New Year's Day. If that's your day when you take down the Christmas decorations or if you're holding off on those returns, things should be nice and quiet and calm on Wednesday. Another chance for some light rain and snow will develop on Thursday and linger into Friday for the end of next week. But those temperatures are a little more January, I shouldn't even say December now, January-like than where we've been at for the last few days.
Christmas is over, Susan.
I know. It always goes by too fast.
It's still the holidays, though.
Yes,
it's still the holidays.
Yeah, until New Year's Day.
Right.
All right, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
And Chris will keep you up to date on the weekend weather, weekend weather mornings on News 3.
And then stay tuned on Sunday for CBS Sunday Morning.
Well, coming up this Sunday morning, Lee Cowan is in for Jane Pauley. He joins us to tell us what we can look forward to this last Sunday of the decade, including a sit-down with comedian Eddie Murphy. Lee?
Hi, Mark. Yeah, so much has been made of Eddie Murphy's big return to Saturday Night Live this past week, but that's not the only part of his reappearing act. A lot of folks think that he's got a pretty good chance at a Golden Globe for his performance in his new film, Dolomite Is My Name. Tracy Smith talked to him about that role, as well as this new reappearing act of his.
Let me read you some of the things. Pure joy. Eddie Murphy brings down the house. It's a triumph. Eddie Murphy gives a killer comeback performance. Is it a comeback?
I guess, you know, they like to say comeback. I don't know. Let's make it easier. Yes, it's my comeback. Yes, it's my big comeback. Every 10 years or so, I launch a big comeback. I've been doing that for the last 40 years. Every 10 years, I come back.
And people wait for it every time he does, I suppose. At this time of year, it's also our tradition to look back at the year that almost was, and we say hail and farewell to all of those that we lost in 2019. There's a lot of folks that have fascinating careers that are worth a second look this time of year, so we'll have that as well.
And I understand you have a look at the airports, the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Yeah, I mean, most of us can't wait to get out of the airport, but that's beginning to change a little bit. There are airports all around the world who are adding a whole bunch of different amenities to make the whole experience nicer. The Indianapolis International Airport for the last 7 years in a row has been named one of the best airports in North America. It's got everything from great restaurants to soothing music and more. Take a look.
We've been desensitized and we've been trained to think that the travel experience is horrible and the airport experience is horrible. Why should that be? That only happened just recently. You know, before it was the miracle of flight, traveling was exciting.
And that's just one airport around the world that we're going to show you. Some of them have amazing amenities. They have swimming pools, rooftop swimming pools. They've got movie theaters. They have butterfly gardens, a whole host of things to make your travel experience a little bit better. So hopefully that's one of the airports that people are going through this time of year and not some of the ugly ones. But even those are getting a little bit of a facelift, too.
All right, sounds like another great show. We will see you Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. Thanks, Lee.
Sounds good. Happy New Year.
Well, I haven't.
No, we have to check it out.
Yeah, I don't mind airports.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
Kind of fun watching people and
yeah, exactly. You just gotta, you know,
get a good one, not an ugly one.
Right.
All right, we'll be right back with a recap of today's news.
Here's a live look downtown. The sun, you can still see a little bit of pink in the sky. It's a beautiful shot on a Friday afternoon. It is 4:38 right now. Let's get an update on today's headlines.
A Madison man's cash bail is set at $1 million after he was charged with killing his sister Christmas Eve. 57-year-old Joseph Green was officially charged with first-degree intentional homicide this afternoon in Dane County Court. Green allegedly killed his sister Sheila Green Tuesday afternoon. He's expected to be back in court next week.
The Wisconsin Department of Justice is looking into other trips made by Madison East High School's business club. Students discovered hidden cameras in their Minneapolis hotel room earlier this month. An unidentified staffer is on leave following that incident. The district is working to collect information about previous events, trips, and attendees.
Madison police say shots were fired last night on the Coosa Trail. No one was injured, but officers did find shell casings in the road. Anyone with information asked to call the Madison area Crime Stoppers.
In New York City, crews are putting the final touches on the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square. Police say they're expecting more than 1 million people to watch the ball drop. Extra security measures are in place to make sure that everyone stays safe.
Any desire to ever see that in person?
Maybe from a hotel room in Times Square with a window.
The Marriott there.
Yeah, that I do.
When we come back, we are going backstage with Michael Bruno.
He's checking out Mercury Players Theater's production of Alice in Pantoland. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Let me do it. I can do it too.
your first, fast, accurate weather updates. Watch First Alert Weather.
All is still good in the world of traffic for your Friday evening. On the Beltline, things actually don't look too busy. East and westbound moving along okay. Eastbound slowing down just a little bit compared to what we saw earlier, but in a much better spot than what we usually see for this time of day. You can see slowing down just before Fish Hatch and then picking up just fine again. Downtown actually looks good as well, and heading over towards Middleton, no delays. 12 all the way up through Prairie du Sac, Baraboo, and the Dells is smooth. And if you're on 3990, all the way down the state line, also smooth. Downtown Janesville should be okay for your Friday. Overall drive times in a good spot. 24 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline. Sauk City to Middleton at 16 minutes, and from Sun Prairie to downtown about 14 minutes this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. This was no ordinary Secret Santa. Shelby was shocked when she found out her Secret Santa was Bill Gates, one of the richest people in the world, after she opted into a gift exchange online. The 81-pound box wouldn't even fit in her car. Her favorite item, a Great Gatsby manuscript. The pages was scans of S. Scott Fitzgerald's handwriting. The billionaire even made a thoughtful donation to the American Heart Association in honor of Shelby's late mother.
Oh, that's great.
That's winning the lottery right there.
I think all big celebrities should do that. That would be amazing.
Well, what do you get when you mix Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan together? Well, you get Alice in Pandoland. Pantoland or Pandaland.
The Mercury Players production says it is for immature audiences only, and parental discretion is discouraged. Let's find out what this is all about as we go backstage with Michael Bruno.
Very merry on birthday to me. To who?
To me.
Oh, you!
What is a panto?
A panto, yes. A lot of people are confused. They think it's a Marcel Marceau routine. That's a pantomime.
Look, a tea party. Hi, I'm Alice, and you must be the Mad Hatter in the March Hare the Cheshire Cat told me about.
This is a tradition in the British Isles that has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's actually older than Shakespeare.
Who's this?
Oh, this is our friend the Dormouse. Introduce yourself.
Squeak.
She's very shy.
It has to be a story that everybody knows so that it can appeal to kids through the adults.
It's very nice to meet you all.
No room, no room.
What? There's plenty of room.
Don't you know it's rude to sit down without an invitation?
So it has to have a recognizable plot and characters. It has to have good guys and bad guys.
What is this?
Your invitation.
Oh, thank you.
It has to have at least one major female character.
The first thing you should do when you sit down is say, how do you do?
Oh, well, how do you do?
How do I do what?
Yes, how does he do what?
I mean, are you all right?
No, half of me is left.
It's the fantasy of a 7-year-old girl. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It's her little world that she, enters and has an adventure in.
And it has to have silly songs and parodies, and it has to have timely political humor for the adults, some slapstick humor for the kids. Basically, it's something that will appeal to all ages at one point or another in the show.
I did enjoy your singing.
You enjoyed our singing?
What a delightful child. We never get compliments.
So the story follows this girl, Alice, who sees a rabbit while she's with her sister, who has a clock, which is sort of unusual. And so she follows the rabbit through this hole in the ground, which leads her to this magical land, which we call Pantoland.
Later, they're going to turn me into rabbit stew. Rabbit Dooley. Well, it's no wonder you're late. This watch is exactly 2 days slow. 2 days slow now? Oh, that can't be right.
So we'll have to look into this. Oh, yes, it's clearly broken.
Indeed, there are pieces all over the place.
Ruined. I'll never tell time again. Well, Mr. Rabbit, what about the giant clock around your neck?
Oh, this one is purely for decoration. Flavor Flav.
Not to worry, we can fix this. Scalpel. That's not a knife.
This is a knife.
Crikey. Butter.
Butter.
How is that supposed to help?
Not to worry, this is the best butter bought by Betty Butter, who bought a bit of better butter.
Be careful, it's a delicate instrument. There's a small margin of error.
Here, all better. Or at least all butter.
That's not funny.
It's ruined, and I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello. Goodbye, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late!
Oh, yes.
A lot going on there.
So it really is the story of Alice in Wonderland, but they obviously put a lot of groaners and lots of puns in there, and they encourage the audience to play along with it, and you have to boo the villain, and you have to like cheer on the hero. But they add a lot of political humor in and some Madison jokes, so the adults can have a good time at the show as well.
It seems like fun.
Yeah, it does look like fun. And this is their 5th year. So they've been becoming like a Christmas tradition.
I never heard of Panto.
Yes, like Bonnie said, it's been a tradition of British old music hall theaters. And the other catch was we didn't get to see is the lead female character is always played by a man in drag. So the Queen of Hearts in this production is played by a man.
Interesting. Great. All right, it is Alice in Pantoland at the Bartell Theater tonight at 7, tomorrow at 2 and 7, and Sunday at 2. BartellTheatre.org, it should be, not O-R-D, org. That's right on.
Yeah.
Dennis got me. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. You're off next week?
I'm off next week, yes.
All right.
So have a wonderful and merry, very happy, joyous New Year.
Happy New Year,
I'll get all the adjectives in there somehow.
All right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And we'll see you right after the break.
Ready to role play back?
All right, some rain on the way.
Some rain on the way, some clouds building in right now. Sunset was just a little bit ago. We had a really pretty sunset. Here's a live look downtown with the Edgewater Sky Cam for your Friday evening. Should be a pretty decent night. We're at about 35 currently in Madison. I needed the light jacket going outside, so I did have to upgrade to a jacket, but it's not parka weather by any means. Calm breeze, so that wind chill's closer to 31. Now, this is thanks to some high pressure that's kept us calm for the last several days. Our next system still well off to the south and west. It is going to push northeast, and that's going to bring showers through the plains and the Midwest. We'll have showers throughout most of the day on Saturday and into Sunday. That means rainfall totals will be landing close to an inch. Some isolated areas could pick up a little more than an inch. Again, the ground is thawed out right now. That's the good news. Some local ponding on the roads might be a thing, but major flooding, not so much of a concern with this rain coming through for us.
It is a lot of rain for the end of December.
A lot of rain for the end of December, and of course, we're already above average for the year, so this is just a final cap, I guess, to get a little more.
You just think, well, if it was snow,
if
how much would it be?
A
lot.
1 to 10, it'd be close to 10 inches to a foot, but we are not talking about snow with this one.
Good.
Yes.
Monday here in Live at 4, we're going to have a live report from Pasadena as the Badgers get ready for the Rose Bowl.
And our film critic Will Loper looks at the critically acclaimed new movie 1917. That's Monday on Live at 4. Well, it's hard to believe, but we've come to the last News Hounds report of the decade.
And our canine correspondents, Lola and Louie, have, for the last time this year, come up with the best animal stories of the week.
It's News Hounds Now Update with Lola and Louie.
This week on the News Hounds Now Update, it's a painting panda.
A quick-thinking mom.
And fun with bubbles.
But first, a very rare zoo baby. This black rhino calf was born on Christmas Eve at Potter Park Zoo in Lansing, Michigan. The zoo says black rhinos are critically endangered, and on average, fewer than 2 black rhino calves are born in human care each year. This little guy is healthy and nursing well. There are only about 5,000 black rhinos alive in the wild today.
What's in the box? The day after Christmas is known as Boxing Day in many countries around the world. And to mark the day, the Denver Zoo shared this video of animals playing with boxes. Just like kids, sometimes the box is more fun than what's inside. The zoo says the boxes and other materials are biodegradable, and the activity stimulates foraging behaviors for hidden food.